Around stuff. Today's episode is inside a hoverboard. In the background, I have two boy grandsons. One's 12 and one's 15. And over the years, they have each had one of these hoverboards. And if you remember early on, there was some problem with these things. And some of the cheaper ones, they would catch fire. They have lithium-ion batteries in them, and they probably weigh 10, 12, maybe 14 pounds, I don't know. They're pretty heavy, but you ride them and you tilt forward and it goes forward and so on. There is a little flex in the wheels, you see that. Anyway, last time I visited them, they said, can you take a look at our skateboards? Because they don't work anymore. And I think in about a year ago, I visited them and the one said, my battery charger is dead. So I did check it and it wasn't that dead. And I ordered one for these guys. And I didn't stay around long enough to see what happened. But I was told that it never really charged and it didn't work. Now, what I did was I inherited two of these from them and said, can you take a look at them? Can we fix them? Okay. In general, they're all very similar in design. And right here, there is a on and off switch. Right here is where the power supply comes in. And on this particular one, it is just a straight two-prong plug for it. The other one I have has actually got three prongs on it. But I decided to tear one apart to see what I'm facing. Is there any possibility that you could repair one of these? And I haven't opened this one up, but I have another one. And I'm going to show you that in a second, what I found. And based on repair part availability, I'm thinking it's the lithium-ion battery, which is dead. And I did find looked like an identical match for it, but it's $60. You can buy a new one of these from $100 to $150. I could put a $60 battery in it. I would have to get a charger because they don't seem to have their chargers anymore for these things. That's another $15 or $20. So to replace the lithium-ion battery and get a new power adapter, you're looking at about $80. And to me, that doesn't make sense when you could buy a new one of these for $100, $125 or something. And you'll probably get at least 1 year out of use with it. Now, I think these may have been active for 2 years or something like that before they started causing problems. And I can't 100% verify that when they were not in use, that they were plugged back into the charger. A lot of people don't like lithium-ion batteries sitting around being charged all the time because of a possible power issue. But that's the background story. Now I'm going to put this one down. I'm going to pick up the one that I took apart and show you what I found. Now this guy is actually heavier than the other one. It's actually heavier physically, and I think a good part of this weight is this metal frame in here. Now what I found was that there's screws that hold these covers in place. I have the other cover over here, but on the downside there's no battery in here. Now I repaired a electric scooter or whatever it's called, yeah, and it had actual 12 volt, you could buy them anywhere, 12 volt standardized size batteries, and that went in the base, and I could do that and I could pull them out and charge them and so on. And that one I got repaired. Now this one, as I said, I first took off the bottom pieces, and all you see here are these control boards for each wheel, and they set here, and there's one that sets down over there. I've unscrewed that one, but it didn't help me do anything. And one of these wires goes into the motor that's down in there, which I cannot see. And there is a sensor type device buried down underneath of each wheel. Maybe I can show you, but it's underneath of here, and it has a top on it. And I think that is where the pressure on the wheels are measured, and you have that on both sides. This sets down in a slot into those measuring devices. Anyway, this is what the bottom looks like. No battery here. Now, if I were to flip it over, and on the took off the one cover, what I find is no battery here. Okay, I can't get it all the way off, but you see it's just a metal plate. On the other side, let's see, I'll get it right in a minute. Oh, okay. On the other side, I'm sorry. On the other side, you see this white sticky pad. This is where I found lithium-ion battery, and this is what it looks like. It's in a package like this, not in a normal, not in a configuration that you're probably used to seeing. But if I spread it apart a little bit, you can see that it is made up of individual lithium-ion battery cells in arrangement, and it says on this particular battery that this is a nominal voltage of 37 volts with a charging voltage of 42. This is the lithium-ion battery pack out of this device. I can find one identical to this and specifications, even by the same manufacturer, but it's $56 from Amazon, and then there's tax. As I said, there's a charger we need. And what I found was it sits in here like this, like that, and it's got screw downs on either side. You can see there's 2 screws to hold it to the middle here, and 2 screws over here. But what I also found, it's glued down, and that's what this white material is on the other side. It's glued to the base, and I had a hell of a time getting it to unglued. So I don't think it's repairable. I'm just showing you what the inside looks like. Certainly the metal chassis is well made. It has these sorts of boards on either side. One of those could have gone bad. I don't know. That's the trouble with something like this when you go to repair it. It's most likely an lithium battery issue. I don't know. I don't think there's much in the way of charging circuitry in here. That port that comes in to charge it obviously goes through something, but eventually gets to this guy. This is only a 2-prong plug, so the overheating protection and so on that require lithium batteries have to be inside of this battery pack. It's not in the external circuitry. There probably is some circuitry, and there was a small board hanging here that looks like lights, perhaps. I'm not sure, but anyway, there must be a temperature sensor in here somewhere that if this whole structure gets too hot, that it will shut down. And on this side, you can actually see that there are in fact holes in here to let, actually that is a speaker. I guess it beeps if you do something. Show it, but there's really not much over here. Another set of boards. A pretty large heat sink right here. It's made well. I can't say anything bad about it. Obviously the metal frame is pretty heavy duty. I don't have a circuit circuit diagram for it, of course. That's almost impossible to find. And I'm not good enough with electronics that I could sort it out by just simply looking at it. It has circuits on it. It has capacitors on it. And I think this is probably a beeper of some kind. Anyway, the point all being, I have taken it apart, and the lithium battery is in this kind of configuration, and special. It is made of individual lithium ion batteries, and most likely, and I found this before, if I can get it apart again, that only one, or perhaps two, of those individual batteries has gone bad, but they've been welded together and really can't take it apart. Now I got to snap together again, I can't get it apart. But you can't really do an individual battery replacement in this, you have to do the whole module. And again, $56 plus an adapter is like $80. I don't think it's worth replacing. But I wanted to show you what it did look like on the inside, and I have done so. Again, the battery sits in here where it was glued down to the metal frame with a very thick pad. I guess it doesn't want to be rolling around. And on this side, there's really nothing. There's only one battery compartment. It's over there. This one's got a left side on it. I don't think this is marked right, but this one's got a big L on it. They have identical looking boards, top, bottom, on both sides. They look like this. This one is slightly different. I see that it's got another capacitor too than this particular board, but they both have heat sinks sitting on chips. That's all I'm going to really talk about. I think these are trash. I hate to throw away anything. In fact, I'm wondering when I take them to the recycle center if they will go in the metal bin, because there's a lot. They did a pretty good job on this metal base. That's the bulk of the heaviness of the thing. There's a pretty significant sort of steel base in there, but I don't think it's repairable. Okay, and that's what I'm going to tell the kids, that if they wanted another one, they would have to buy one, and depending on max weight the thing carries, and maybe its speed or whatever other parameters there are, it might have to go as high as $150 to get a replacement. Then I'll probably suggest to them that they do try to keep it charged, and it may last a year or two. But this was basically a throwaway. It was designed not to be repaired. That battery is glued in there. You got to take all this stuff apart to even get to it. It was designed as a throwaway device. Perhaps it would have expected life 2 years or something like that if you charge it properly. That's enough of that. Shown what I did, what I've got, and I will tell the two boys that nope, Uncle Ron can't repair these. Today is the 27th of July, and it's hot here, 2025. I hope you got something out of it. If nothing else, always learn something when I take apart something. Things are put together in strange sort of ways, and like I said, I didn't want to believe the battery was glued in, but it was, and I had to really pry on it from the bottom to get that battery out. So that tells me in one sense it was never meant to be repaired by a user, let's put it that way. Uncle Ron stuff. This is inside a hoverboard, and I think it's unlikely that you'll be able to do a repair on it that makes any sort of cost-effective sense. That's it for today. Bye-bye.